Battlers, I am back. Welcome to another episode of the Knighted Podcast Match Rewind Edition, baby. Now, if your electricity bill has been putting you under more pressure than our Knights have been putting us under lately, well, I tell you what, it's time for you to take a look at solar. That's right. Audra Solar are a local family-owned and operated servicing Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, the Hunter, Port Stephens, and the Central Coast. They all handle solar installs, battery storage, EV chargers, and everything. I mean, everything is done by a solar accredited electricians. No contractors, no pushy sales team. Every single system is custom designed to your home. They will even come to you and give you a free on-site quote. So what are you waiting for? Make sure you go visit them at Audra Solar. That's AUDRA solar.com.au, or give them a buzz at 1300 104 914 and see why the locals just keep dishing them out the 5-star reviews. Audra Solar, powering homes across the Hunter the right way. Well, it was too little, too late. That's right. Unfortunately, after a late flurry of tries, it wasn't quite enough, with the Rabbitohs defeating us at a core stadium this Sunday afternoon. The Knights, who have been accustomed to, of late, playing some absolute thrilling, that's a new word, thrilling finishes, have now found themselves narrowly defeated. And our luck has well and truly run out this game after being defeated 24 points to 26. After an emotionally charged afternoon at a core stadium, some huge scenes. The scenes bigger than rugby league for Jai Arrow and his journey that he's currently going on. But look, let's not only that, before we sink our teeth in that game, we'll take a look at some your Titanium Forge Player of the Week, brought to you by LGB Marine. I will give you my Paycat Knighted Players of the Week, as well as answering your Get Out Alive fire safety training burning questions. So, Battlers, sit back and get ready as we take a look at the Justin Holbrook outlook of our round 19 clash against the Rabbitohs, baby. Let's go! Chew on that! Chew on that. Do you know who can go chew on that? Respectfully, my wife, producer of the show, almost gave me a fucking heart attack about an hour ago. Didn't you?
I did.
You got me good. I'm usually the one that can pull the wool over her eyes, but you got me good.
How the turntables.
Yeah. Tell the story. I'll let you explain to the Battlers what you pulled on me.
No, this is your chew on that. You need to
Is that so?
Yeah, you need to do it.
Well, after coming back in the afternoon, and I'm working tirelessly to put all the show notes together and the graphics set and the cameras up, all that stuff. Come upstairs and someone has told me they have failed their police check for their new job. And now she won't be employed there. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
I had to turn around
because
I was folding clothes.
Well, I thought you were tearing up. That's why I thought you were turned away. And I'm just like, how the fuck did I marry a criminal? Is there something I don't know? And yeah, then you let on that yes, you're bullshitting me. But yes, my heart was well and truly racing. I was going, what is going on here?
Heart sunk.
Hey, what were you up to before we met?
Yeah.
So go chew on that, Lou.
There you go.
Fucking the Knights are already putting me under enough stress at the minute. All of us under enough stress. And you go throwing that shit on top of me. So
I don't think I've ever got you like that.
No,
before.
you haven't. No, I'm usually pretty good. I'm pretty good. But you did get me. You got me at a weak moment, but you got me nonetheless. So
I tried to get you when we were rushed, so there'd be no you wouldn't see me laughing. I turned around and I was laughing.
Yeah, well, you got me off guard. So a bit of a cheap shot, if I'm going to be honest. But I've just realised my fancy sign's not on. There we go.
Not on.
Far out. There you go. Boys race around. That looks better. Now we look like we're running. All right. If you're going to chew on something elite, you might as well chew on something. If you're going to chew on something, you might as well chew on something elite, is what I meant to say. Beef jerky, quality beef jerky that will hit you harder than Trey Mooney was hitting the Rabbitohs. I'll tell you that much. Flavor some stuff. Newy boys doing some great stuff. Make sure you get along to beachjerky.net.au. Go get your game day fuel. I can guarantee you that Brady Best had a bag or two of that prior to scoring one of the most miraculous tries in State of Origin history. The guy can't get enough of the stuff. Look what he's doing for our great state. Beach jerky. Get around it, Battlers.
You know what you need to do, Lincoln?
What do I need to do?
I just realised something too. Both Christopher and Justin have said, you look weird with your hat not backwards.
I'm changing it up.
And Justin said, it's weird seeing KP with black headgear.
It is.
It's like seeing Link with his hat on the normal way.
I thought, we've lost. We're a little bit out of sorts. I'm just going to, occasionally I do throw the hat forward, just changing shit up. Just keeping it fresh for you, Battlers, all right? I'm glad you noticed it. I do prefer the hat backwards. I'm more of a hat backwards kind of a guy, but occasionally he does face forward when I'm meaning business.
Backwards man, backwards man.
That's it. All right, if you haven't done so already, make sure you're giving the live stream a big old thumbs up. And if wherever you're wasting your time on social media, come and follow us. Our arms are open. We are waiting for you. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We had quite a few YouTube subs. Shout out to all the Battlers tuning in for the Knights watch. It was a roller coaster, wasn't it? Your boy was very pessimistic. Yeah, we're going to get to that game.
Retro's asked on Instagram, oi, who won our content creator battle? I'm not even trolling. Just didn't see the result.
I got through to the finals, Retro. Shout out to you, Battlers. Shout out to you. If I'm going to be honest, I wasn't confident, Retro. I thought you would have had my number, mate, but I've advanced through to the next round. Shout out to all the Battlers. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like a big content creator battle off, but I think
Skipper.
SC Skipper. Shout out SC Skipper. So he's pitted us creators all together to crown the champion of content creators. So I'm up against JC. So the man that ambushed me in my own car after an emphatic win against the Dragons. So get your votes in. If you haven't done so already, get to Instagram. Give me some votes. Let's go. Let's win something this year. Your boy's going to take home that. Where was I at, Lou? I've been sidetracked. Patreon. If you want to support us here at the Night, you can do so by finding our show notes in the description or Google. You guys smart. You'll work it out for $5, $10, $25 per month. Will go a long way to help a couple of Battlers just trying to give you the best Newcastle Knights content possibly available. But let's do it. Let's take a look at the night in news for this week, Battlers.
It's the night in news.
Just the one news story this week, and reports suggesting Conovatano set to leave the club and link up with the Bulldogs in 2027. The 20-year-old who made his debut last year against the Cowboys in round 24. I thought it was earlier in the year. I triple-checked that. I swear it was much earlier in the year, but round 24 last year. Understandably so, isn't it? When you got Fletcher Hunt, Fletcher Sharp, he's got a couple of throbbers in front of him. Obviously, Kalen Ponga at fullback. So as far as second, third string fullbacks, falling down the pecking order there. I think Cooper, his younger brother, was it this year or the year prior? He's already down at Melbourne, I believe. So, is what it is. You can't keep them all. He's going to get an opportunity down there. The Bulldogs only got Connor Tracy down there in a minute, but long term, they certainly might see Connor as a future prospect. Very talented guy. We saw him come through right through the junior pathway system. Always highly touted, super talented guy. So wish him all the best if that is to be the case. Nothing confirmed as of yet, but don't be surprised if any day now you hear the news that Conovatano has inked a deal with a rival club, Battlers. So there you go, our boy Conovatano. If someone can correct that about his debut, there's something about me. I swear he debuted much earlier than round 24 last year. Let me know, but I did double check that. So, all right, let's do it. Let's sink our teeth into the game that was this week with the Newcastle Knights being narrowly defeated, 24 points to 26. Now, can I just state off the bat, looking at this game right now, if you knew nothing about this rugby league football game and you looked at this scoreline, you would think, shit, it must have been a pretty close game. But if I'm going to be completely and utterly honest, the Rabbitohs were the better team for a vast majority of that game, and I really don't think this scoreboard accurately reflected how well the Rabbitohs had played and how poor we were in long patches. Now, look.
Said here another 5 minutes and we win.
Yeah, we were coming home. We're gonna get to the habits of the Newcastle Knights at the moment. We're gonna get there, Tony. We're gonna get there. So now look, very much like what we saw against the West Tigers. Remember, Dylan Brand scores in the first minute. And looking back, I'm kind of thinking maybe we let our guard down a bit. Maybe we got a bit complacent, thinking, oh wow, geez, we're gonna just blow them off the park, right? Well, in this game, I think we had 5 either bombed or disallowed tries. 4.5 minutes, bolted straight out of the gates. Huge line break that led to what we thought was going to be a try to Sand on Smith. I called it on the Knights Watch. You guys who tuned in and watched the Knights Watch with me will know. I immediately saw it. I can't remember who it was in the defensive line. Clear obstruction. It was always going to get called back. That was at the 4.5 minutes. Not even a few minutes later, Kalen Ponga looks to have scored a try, but unfortunately, Dan Gagai running into Bud Sullivan, disallowed try. There's always going to be a disallowed try. In the 14th minute, a big right side shift to Young. Unfortunately, gets around. He does get around Jai Gray, but puts the foot out. No try once again. And then 48th minute, Kalen Ponga finds a bit of space, tries to get the flick pass out to Dominic Young. Another opportunity blown. So we had plenty of opportunities. Unfortunately, execution was a little bit off. We just couldn't ice those moments. But what we want to do, the angle I want to push on this week is the Rabbitohs didn't expose any new weaknesses to the Knights. They exposed one that had already been hiding beneath in these narrow victories the past month. Now, over the past month, we have developed a habit of scraping by wins rather than controlling the game, right? The resilience and the ability to fight back is certainly great. It's a great ability to have, but it's not a sustainable way to continue to win football games. All right? As I said, having this ability to go, we're not playing to our potential, but you just got the resilience to somehow, win these tight games is great in and on itself, but it's not sustainable long term. The late comeback against South proved that this team certainly does have the talent and the character to get the job done. We're not questioning that whatsoever. The big question is, though, why did we only see that urgency that late in the game with that amount of scoreboard pressure? When Kalen Ponga finally clicked into gear and we really started to pile on the points late. It was obviously too little, too late at that point. But the good teams don't constantly need to come from behind, all right? They'll control possession, field position, momentum, scoreboard from the opening whistle. That is the next step for our Newcastle Knights. It's admirable that we've seen it so often. Even in Melbourne, where we narrowly got defeated, it was another game. Could you imagine if we won that game in this game? I think we're 6 on the trot, which would have been wild. But this game could be really pivotal for the rest of our season. This could really be a game where the silver lining, where we can genuinely take some learnings out of it, where we can look at games like this and think, if we can just get it right from the beginning, control the game. Handling errors were still way too high. I think we had 14 errors. We were down to 55% completion, I think, at the 60-minute mark of this game, which was absolutely woeful. Defensively, there were some really soft tries. Dane Gagai, unfortunately, he had a really tough outing. I think he had, of the 12 tackles, he missed 6. Tallis Duncan just was giving him a bath that day. I'm a bit concerned about Gags. Respectfully, we all love our boy Dan Gagai, but the last couple of weeks, I don't know if is he carrying something? He's a little bit injured, because there were reports a month or two ago that he was really banged up. I don't know if that's catching up to him. But ever since sort of that Broncos deal got finalized, I don't know. He has struggled a little bit. I know he had huge run meters this game. I think he was second overall in our run meters, but I thought defensively he got found out quite a bit. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat also. The decision this game, I think it was, in hindsight, I know hindsight's 20/20, but to move Fletcher Sharp to centre and take him out of the halves, I think if you had your time again, I think you just put Fletcher Hunt there. He was your Titanium Forge Player of the Week last week. Fletch, not his best outing. Dave Fafita really showed him up there, that massive right foot step, burned him pretty hard. I don't know. I think maybe if Holbrook had his time again, he'd just leave Fletch there. I leave Fletcher Hunt back in that position there and just keep Razor in the halves. But you let me know in the chat. I know hindsight's 2020. It's easy to sit back now when the game's done and dusted. And this is something I've bounced back to and fro in my own mind. Do we when we lose a piece out of the back line, does it make sense to continually pull Fletcher Sharp out of the halves to fill that gap? Or do we just want to let him cook? Do we just keep him in the halves? Keep that halves pairing cooking? I know Sandon Smith is a very good backup half. He had some really nice touches in this game. Unfortunate not to get a try. But where do I start? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's dive into your Titanium Forge Player of the Week, brought to you by LGB Marine, the experts in building resilience on and off the water. And this week's player has been... So I'm all over the place with my ad reads there. Just like the toughest structures they construct, this week's player has been battle-tested, unshaken, and built to withstand anything. LGB Marine strength, precision, resilience. Let's dive into this week's winner, picking up the votes. Now, I have never seen so many varying votes, but this week's winner goes to Kalen Ponga, as voted upon by you guys. Obviously, he was massive in the particularly the final 10 minutes of that football game. 11 and a half minutes to go, to be exact. Scoring along that right edge there. And then, that beautiful grubber kick. That beautiful grubber kick to Dylan Lucas. Dylan Lucas gets the ball. A really unfortunate bounce for Matt Duffy. Gets the hand of the ball. Matt Gidley, if there were ever a game Matt Gidley had a smile on his face, it was this game. The amount of flick passes thrown by the Knights was incredible. A massive flick pass back to KP. Scores underneath the post for our last try. And no, it wasn't our last try. Sorry. No, it was our second last try. I apologize. So scoring back-to-back tries in a minute and a half. So he was huge for a lot. I don't know. Such a weird game. Am I being too harsh? I just thought there was so many sets in this game. Like, I'll take you back. If you're on the Knights watch, massive scoreboard pressure. And it must have been after we scored this try. It was about 6 or so minutes left on the clock. And we had this set coming out of our own end, and it was just the most dull, one out, block shape, nothing thrown at him in that set. And you just go, what is going on? Boys, we're down 2 scores here. And it was just like the most dull play. We barely made any meters. And then the very next play is when Sandon Smith cuts him in half and puts Harrison Graham over. So it's just that little sequence of events was just so indicative of what this game was like. There was so much to like, and then there was so much to dislike at the same time. And I just really feel, and Justin Holbrook alluded to it in the press conference, was the amount of disallowed tries or bomb tries, or however you want to cut and paste it. I really do think psychologically they got to the boys. I really do. I think you would have been on such a high on so many occasions only to have those points taken away from you. And not only that, to compound that problem, the Rabbitohs, particularly in those first couple that we got taken off of us, they go down and basically score the next set or two on us. So just 12-point swings all around the place, which was, that's the same. It was such a weird game, right? It was such a, I was disappointed, but then you look at some things that were kind of good, but defense, as I said before, defense was not great, particularly with our boy Gags. I thought it was, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You guys let me know in the chat. What are your thoughts of where Dane's at the moment? Because I think the last 2 games he's defensively, he's been a bit off the boil, if I'm going to be completely and utterly honest with you. But yes, your Titanium Forge Play of the Week. Kalen Ponga, let's do it. I'm going to give you my Knighted Plays of the Week, brought to you by Paycat. Payroll made dead easy by Crew and Yui, who know their stuff. Whether you're paying the boys on a construction site, trying to figure out that tricky Shads award for your NDIS biz, Paycat make it dead easy. They'll back hundreds of businesses and even help an NRL club keep their payroll running smooth. You can do payroll yourself, or you can have the Paycat team do it for you. Either way, you can have more time to sink a cold grain-fed game day lager, eat some beach jerky, and watch some bucking football. So let's take a look at some blokes who earned their pay this week. My 3 points this week, I could not go past Trey Mooney. I thought Trey Mooney was absolutely sensational. Whilst I bring up his stats, now obviously with the omission of Jacob Saifidi, Pasami Solo, it was absolutely imperative that we had Trey Manning. I know he was a late scratching last week, but to have him back this week, he did have that HII. He went off, I think, after the 10-minute mark, which would have made it infinitely harder for us to win this football game. But even with that 10 minutes off the field, let's take a look at his stats because he was absolutely fucking incredible. 57 minutes played, 15 runs for 170 run meters, second overall for the Newcastle Knights, just behind Kalen Ponga. 47 post contacts, got the 3 tackle breaks there, 2 offloads, 38 tackles, 3 missed. I thought he was incredible. I think it was his best game as a Newcastle Knight. Really put his hand up to be that alpha dog. I was super impressed. He was honestly one of the best forwards on the park. And then when you had Tavita Totola and Keon Kolomatangi run around, I thought Trey Mooney was absolutely fucking sensational the entire game. He got my 3 points this week. My 2 points, Dylan Lucas. Wow, what another incredible performance. I know, we didn't have Bradman Best. Jermaine McEwen, unfortunately, was a late scratching as well. But, oh, man, to have Dylan Lucas at least there for us this week was incredible. I thought, that flick pass back to Kalen Ponga was absolutely fucking beautiful. So he's got the try assist there. 17 runs for 160 of the best, 70 post contact, 5 tackle breaks, 49 tackles, got the 5 missed. So, yeah. But I thought another really strong performance. Another one. He must have had Laurie Daly still running around in his head there. I thought he did really well. And my 1 point could not go past Kalen Ponga. I know for a large part of that game, I thought, where is he? What is he doing? We need some Kalen Ponga magic. Again, just left his run a little bit too late for me. He needed to inject himself like 20 minutes earlier in that football game. But anyways, they're my three best for the night. Now, tell me this, Battlers. Why, oh, why did we never see a proper crossfield kick to Dominic Young, who had Jai Gray marking up against him? Jai Gray, 170 centimetres. For all you old school folk, 5'5". Dominic Young, 200 centimetres, 6'6". The bloke has more than a foot on him. How did we not exploit that? That to me just seems a cheat code. There was a couple of kicks that we put down there. They were fucking horrible. They were nowhere near the mark. But why, oh, why we never shaped the kick that side is just bamboozling to me. I understand when you had Fletcher Hunt going up against Campbell Graham in later stages of the game, those two sort of cancel one another out. But, oh, man, what a missed opportunity there. I know we had a lot of joy when we ran the football down the right edge there, particularly with Kalen Ponga. You can certainly see that's where the damage was going to be done. And we, nearly cost the Rabbitohs in the end there. They were pulling them to pieces. But even Dom did have a couple of good line breaks down there. Again, put the foot over the line. There was, what was that one? That one wasn't a Gags, got the ball back to him and he fumbled it or something again. So, the Rabbitohs did have a hard time trying to contain Gags and Dom along that right edge, but execution really cost us poorly there. And getting back to what I was saying, how do you not try and isolate Jai Gray on Dominic Young? Anyways, that one's a bit perplexing for me. Fletcher Hunt, I thought he did a pretty good job coming in. Obviously, Greggy Marzu failed to sort of came back from halftime, had that knee right into his right ass cheek from Dave Fafita. That wouldn't have been fun. So he's going to be a bit of touch and go. It's going to be very interesting to see if he's named tomorrow in their roster review show. But I thought Fletcher Hunt came in, did a pretty solid job filling in for our boy Greggy Marzu. Tommy Cant. Now, we love Tommy Cant. Don't get it twisted. We love Tommy Cant. But unfortunately, Tommy Cant doesn't bring what Jermaine McEwen brings. Yes, he actually did have a pretty bad defensive reef on the Tavita Totola try, if you remember. Ashton Ward sort of starting to engage the line. I don't know why. I think he was running at sand on. I don't know. It was a breakdown in communication or just wasn't, confident he's outside man. Tommy Cant just comes in and jams up on Ashton and just leaves a massive hole. Just a nice little short ball to Tavita Totola. Goes through untouched. That one fucking hurt. But I just thought we really lacked that attacking potency that you see from Jermaine McEwen. He played really, really well the last couple of games, so that one kind of stung as well. But a guy who I really want to talk about, Lou, has there been anything in the chat about our boy Lockie Crouch? Oh, but how has no one mentioned Lockie Crouch? Very unlucky not to get my pay cat night of players. I loved what I saw from Lockie Crouch. Here's a guy in his second NRL game not taking any shit from Keon Kolamatangi. I loved it. Super unfortunate not to bag a try. He was very close. He got over, just got held up in the action, and the bit of argy-bargy afterwards, I loved it. I loved it. And then he went after the big dog. Absolutely loved seeing that stuff. So a bit of fire in the belly of Lockie Crouch. He sort of seemed like a bit more of a subdued kind of a cat, but I like that. I fucking like that from the young fella. Wasn't afraid to take a backward step. I was sort of thinking that's more Trey Mooney's job, but Lockie Crouch getting in the thick of it. Fucking love seeing that. Is there anyone else in the chat, Lou? Is there any points? It was such a fucking weird game. It was such a weird game.
The biggest thing everyone's saying is rest Gags and put Hunt in. Christopher said, if Gags continues to struggle, I'm all for Hunt taking his spot. I respect Gags for all he has done for the Knights, but for the run to the finals, we need to have a strong side. Carly said, we need to give Hunt some game time. Let Dane rest his ribs for a few weeks.
Yeah, it's such a tough. What do you do? Because obviously you'd be a huge locker room guy, Gags, right? But if he is well and truly, there's something going on. He's like really busted. Yeah, he would have earned the right to have a spell. But at the same breath, I can imagine he would not be wanting to do that. He just wants to finish strong for the Knights. But yeah, the eye test doesn't look good. Now, he could come out next week against the Sharkies and just fucking light it up. He could honestly do that. So yeah, but you know, you can only go by what you've seen in the last couple of weeks. He has looked a bit slow, hasn't he? He has looked a bit slow. Where you know, the ageless Dane Gagai that we reveled week in, week out in the last couple of weeks, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe it's just a little niggle, you know, and he gets back to his best very soon. Because generally when he does play a bad game, was it against West? He had an absolute shocker a couple of weeks ago. I think it was against West. I think it was against the Dolphins. He generally bounces back pretty good. He responds well. You know, he gets his angry pills on. He comes out and he plays a relatively good game. But yeah, a couple of I don't want to say the word poor, but certainly far below Dane Gagai standards. He would know he wouldn't be impressed with his form at the moment. So yeah, whether he needs a rest or not. But yeah, it's hard because man, I want to see more of Fletcher Hunt too. So yeah, let me know in the chat. What would you do?
Shout out to Squishy, gave us 99 cents in this chat.
Go on, you Squishy.
South fan here. I feel like the last 15 minutes we were poor for the South side. I'm happy that Jai had a wonderful birthday yesterday.
Yes, Squishy. Now, shout out for tuning into the Night's Watch. I remember you. There was a part of me that felt like a bit of an arsehole to try and spoil the party for Jai Gray. I'm going to be honest with you. So if there were ever a time to lose a game in the context of what was happening that game, I'm not too angry about it. It's not like we're losing to the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. All right, vastly different circumstances. So, as I kept saying, some things are bigger than rugby league, and just the tremendous courage that man must have, and to get out and put a brave face on, and yeah, to hear him say he wants to beat this bastard. And as I said, being a father myself, fucking just, yeah, your heart goes out to him and his family. It's fucking absolutely awful. So it's so good to see the whole NRL community's got around him. And yeah, all of us Knights supporters would be embracing it. I'm sure everyone would be echoing the same sentiments I am. If there were ever a time to lose a game, this was the time to do it. No one likes losing, but if you're going to lose, let's lose on Jai Arrow's birthday. All right. It is what it is. So appreciate it, Squishy. Good on you, mate. I don't mind South. Someone asked me a few weeks ago why I hated South. I've never said I've hated South. I don't know why someone got that impression. I quite like South as a club. Never disliked that club. Oh, what do we got here? Holy shit. Get excited. What is this?
Like Lou Butler's Billy Butler here. A little poem for your Monday. The noble Knights did we get off the bus. We were sloppy at best and full of rust. The arrow was fired across the field. Tries and points we just could not yield. 68 minutes, a comeback was on. An overlap, Dom Young in the corner. That chance was gone.
On ya, Billy. Billy Butler's Ballads. It's going to become a weekly segment. Keep them coming, Billy. You've even got a fucking theme song now, brother.
I'll work on it.
Yeah. Good stuff, Billy. Good. Fucking that literally blew my ears off, that one. Holy shit.
I actually was square dancing to it. Thanks, Nathan.
So good on you, Billy Battler. There's a little surprise. You weren't expecting your own theme song, were you, Billy? So the Battlers want more of it, mate. Week in, week out, we want Billy Battler's Ballads. Good stuff. Good stuff. He really did typify that game. He stole the words out of my mouth. I know I'm a little bit all over the place because that game really was all over the place. As I said, there was some highlights in that game. Great. Awesome. The kind of football that we've come to know and love of the Knights of 2026 under this Holbrook era. But boy, oh boy, there was some periods of time there. Very frustrating. And yeah, so we've got to get out of this habit of, thinking that, we're gonna get away with it. Luck's going to be on our side. We'll just find a way. That works occasionally, as I said before, but you can't sustain that for long periods. It's something that we're still waiting to see as the Knights put on a full 80-minute performance and control a game. That was anything but controlling the game. And it was just unfortunate we did leave it a little too late. Had we just kicked into gear halfway through the second half, who knows? We quite honestly probably win that football game. As Squishy said, they were well and truly on the back foot, but credit to the Rabbitohs. They came out, they used that occasion to their advantage, played a fucking good game of football. You got to commend the opposition as well. It's not like I can't just sit there and go, we play poorly and we're our own worst enemy. The Rabbitohs came out, they are all without players too. Sit there. They haven't got Alex Johnson. They hadn't had Cody Walker. No Latrell out there as well. So, I know we had our injuries, but so did they. So Wayne Bennett clearly not letting the occasion get to him too much and using it the right way to fuel a really good performance against our boys. So let's just hope this game we can really this could be a really crucial game. This could be honestly a real turning point for our season to go, boys, we can no longer just get complacent and think we're just going to get out of jail. Because that is what the last month has seriously been. So maybe a bit of a wake-up call to the boys to really start from the whistle goes, control a football game. All right. So I don't know really what more I can really say about this game. I'm certainly, no one's hitting the panic button. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater or anything like that. Disappointing we didn't get the win. But at the end of the day, we did claw it back a bit, even though, as I said earlier in the show, I really do feel that scoreline flatters us. If I'm going to be completely honest, I really felt like the Rabbitohs probably should have got a 13-pluser on us. It breaks my heart to say that, but that's how well they played and how poor we were, I thought, for long periods in that game. But, all right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's answer some burning questions.
Burning questions.
All right, what do we got?
All right, we'll start a voicemail from Justin.
Justin.
G'day, Link, Lou, and fellow battlers. I think I need a couple of whiskies just to calm my heart down after that.
With you.
Fair dinkum. Absolutely disappointed not to come away with the 2 points. If only the pass from KP connected with Dom in the end, and we got a try from that would have been perfection. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm disappointed, but we move on. We dust ourselves off. We go for next week. Got to be so much better against the Sharks next week. But yeah, it's the boys can fight back. Last year, we would not have done that. Last year, we would have just given up and let them beat us by 50. We're a top form team. We are a top 4 team. I'm not going to take any shit off anyone else. We are top 4 worthy. And yeah, that the other teams underestimate us at their own risk. So let's go. Come on, Newcastle. Let's go. I believe in our boys. Let's go.
On you, Justin. Never not giving up. Good stuff. No, you hit the nail on the head. We've got to remember, 12 months ago, once a little bit of adversity went against us and things didn't go our way, we just were not in a position as a team to turn things around. It just did not happen in the latter parts of last year.
Adam said here, I think it was the loss we needed to kick us into shape.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Adam. That's what I'm saying. This could be a really crucial game. And looking at it, did this game have a huge bearing on our season? Most people look at it and go, yeah, it was just a close loss. But when you sort of take a closer look at the context of how we've been playing up to this point, it really could be. It really could be that kick up the arse to go, boys, come on. I know we got, really lucky against the Dragons nearly beat us, for fuck's sake. Kyle Flanagan catches that ball. They beat us. We weren't great against Parrot. We got the win there. The Dolphins, a miraculous field goal by Dylan Brown that avoids it going to Golden Point. These things can change. We've just been fortunate enough, more times than not, we've been on the good end, but that's not sustainable. So, yes, I'm sure Justin Holbrook, a lot of the messaging would be echoing that same sentiment. It's like, boys, we just can't think it's going to be all good. We're going to find a way. We got to control the game. We've got to control field position, got to control possession, scoreboard, all that stuff. And that I'm thinking that would naturally come. It's just we got such an uber talented football team that can score points from anywhere that we've got a kind of a knack for being able to do this stuff. So once we nail the fundamental parts of our game, the completions rates still aren't great. I think we managed 70% towards the end, which is not good. Got to. I'm sure I'd love to know what, in those 4 walls, what their benchmark is. Surely it'd be nothing less than 80%, but we've been subpar in that area for a while. So, maybe a couple of big names back, Brady, Jermaine back. I know Jasaf and Pastrami are still a little ways off. But yeah, we're all right. No one's hitting the panic buttons though. That's the main thing. It's all good. It's all good.
Josh has asked, was I the only one who was secretly hoping Queensland would win State of Origin? So KP came back to Clubland happy and ready to cook back half of the year.
Well, I was kind of hoping it'd be the other way, that he'd be so disappointed in how not only he and his teammates play, that he's kind of come back and enact his revenge on South Sydney. That's kind of what I wanted, if I'm going to be honest with you, Josh. Ideally, I would love another game 1 where he just, gets sent off, avoid suspension. That's the best case scenario. Game 1s, if you can just keep having game 1 performances for Queensland, that suits me perfectly. But yeah, it was good though listening to him talk in the press conference about, mentally and physically how to overcome Origin, putting it to bed and moving on. Which obviously would be quite a bit harder when you've lost the series, a game that they were expected to win. So yeah, he was, I don't know, he was a little bit off for a big chunk of that game. I would have liked to have seen Kalen Ponga interject himself far sooner in that game, but goes to show you how good he is. The latter parts of that game nearly led us back. He would have been our titanium forge player of the week. He would have picked up my 3 points if that pass connects and leads, 4 tries in 11 and a half minutes. Would have been fucking wild. For him to score 2 and set up 1 would have been pretty gnarly. He nearly did it. He quite nearly did it. But, yeah.
Got a good eye, Christopher. Link, love your Knights Lego figure. We've got a new addition to the bar.
Yeah. Shout out. I did have their business card.
Lockyer Backyard Creations.
Yeah. Went to the markets and they had this little guy and they had a, it's like a stubby cooler can holder thing.
Straw in it. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah. So I'm always looking for little knickknacks, little Knights knickknacks. So when I
sit on the gram,
when I saw this at the markets, I'm like, you're coming home with me, pal. So appreciate that for noticing, mate. I'm hoping to get look. There's not really a whole lot of knick-knacky stuff, if I'm going to be honest. So need more of it. Coles really didn't sell anything this year, did they?
Well, we're in Ipswich. We had nothing. It's all Rabbitohs, Broncos.
But they didn't even, did
Dolphins.
Coles even have anything up here this year?
Yeah.
Did
just
they?
Just no Knights.
I swear they had nowhere near as much stuff. Do you know what fucking sucks is I swear it was last year they had all like there was like some clubs had their mascots as like statues, but they were all like the animal type ones. And there was no Knights one, which fucking pisses me off. You're going to do it for some clubs, do it for all of us. Don't just fucking exclude us.
You got your Knight spray?
Oh no, of course. Yeah, shout out to Chisholm. That's right. He sent me some shit up from Coles. Of course. Yeah, you're right. He did too. I did get some knick-knacky stuff, didn't I?
A question from YouTube. Link, which NRL journalist do you dislike the most?
Oh, I've never been asked this. Do you know who kind of shits me off? Brent Reed shits me off a bit, if I'm going to be honest. Paul Crawley just has some dumb takes. And I'll preface this by saying these could be the nicest blokes in the world. Never met any of them. I'm just answering the question at face value. Paul Crawley, boy, I am suspicious. I think at NRL 360, they must tell these guys what to think because some of the boneheaded opinions they get, you're like, surely you did not think of that yourself. Surely you're just trying to be argumentative. Because I have heard the tale from good sources that they basically tell people what to say and their opinions. And that way they get blokes with varying opinions just fucking going at one another. So they haven't got four guys who are just sitting around for an hour or two all agreeing on the same subjects. They need that what's the word? They need that tension, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for, Lou?
Sorry?
Oh, like the theater of having two guys with polar opposite opinions just fucking going at one another. It's all clickbaity fucking shit. But at the top of my head, Brent Reed, Paul Crawley would be the two.
Bailey's asked, will you be at Knights versus Chooks in Newcastle?
That's the plan, mate. That is the plan. I'm 90% certain I'm going. 90%. Yeah, I'm pretty confident I'll be making the road trip down, and I should have a couple of other boys coming down with me also, mate. So I will keep you posted.
Justin's asked, tell us how you really feel about Vossi
Well, neither of them are journalists. They would be right at the top of my list if they were. Fucking Vossi and Brandy. Who commentated the game on the weekend? Weirdly enough, I kind of blank out a lot of the commentary on the Knights watch. I really don't listen too much to what they're saying. Sometimes it's like well into a game before I realize, fuck, we got Vossi and Brandy.
Justin on YouTube asks, have you thought about what teams we can beat to stay in the top 8?
What teams we can beat? Mate, honestly, I believe if everything clicks, I've said this numerous times over the last few weeks, if everyone in our team can play at a minimum of a 7.5, 8 out of 10, we could beat anyone. I genuinely believe that. I know you're going to have a little bit of luck on your side as far as injuries concerned. So we've got a couple of boys out at the moment, but near full strength, mate, I'm telling you, we could go toe-to-toe with the best of them. I really do believe that. I really do believe we have it in us at the moment. The resilience that we've shown, I know we haven't played a full performance yet, but I've seen enough from this team to really think, I think as the weeks go on, our premiership credentials and our premiership window is opening more and more and more and more. I think we've gone from making up the top 8 to, dark horse, and we're kind of almost pushing into the contender areas. I really do feel that.
Matthews asks, if you had a karaoke show, which Newcastle Knights current players would you sing with?
1,000% Greg Marzu. 100% Greggy Marzu. I think Pasami would be pretty fun too. I think Pasami would go all right. And I want to say Fletcher Hunt, just for a bit of variety. Being a country lad, I think he'd have a bit of a different vibe to the other two, mate. So they're
Post Malone vibes.
Yeah, but a bit of a some country. Yeah. Yeah, well, he does some country stuff, but like proper country. He would be an Ella fella for sure.
Ella fella.
1,000%.
Love you, Ella.
Shout out Ella Langley.
That's it.
That's it. We've
Short and
extinguished.
sweet.
We've extinguished the burning questions. Good stuff. All right, battlers, if you've enjoyed the live stream, which I'm sure you have, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. It really does help us out, truly. If you're watching, takes 2 seconds. Hit that thumbs up. It allows YouTube to push this out to more and more, a bigger audience. Just think of the battler out there that's wandering in the wilderness, who has been living under a rock, who's never heard of the Knighted. And your thumbs up could potentially push this video in front of their face. We can welcome them into the fold. All right. Don't do it for me. Do it for them.
Apologies to TikTok and Instagram too. The comments don't show up on our restream, so I do try to look at them. But sorry, it was a bit neglected tonight.
Yeah, I did say this because when I did the Night's Watch, I was flying solo. And you're welcome to. You got the scoreboard and the time now on the Night's Watch. We've leveled up on that. I had no idea how often the fucking game clock stopped. I've got a new respect for the game clock after last week. I can tell you that much. But yeah, until Restream, the software that we use to go live on all these platforms, for some dumb reason, TikTok and Instagram comments don't come into the main feed. So Lou does her best. She's got, what do you got in front of you? You got a
my
phone
on Instagram and my iPad on TikTok.
So she's literally staring at 4 screens.
Sorry, Johnny Ricardo.
Who's Johnny Ricardo?
He's commenting on TikTok.
Oh,
Thanks for all the love, Johnny.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it is hard until they can sort of amalgamate all them in one nice big column for us. Lou's juggling everything the best she can. So bear with us, okay? We love you. We're not ignoring you. We're just doing our best. All right. But yes, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, battlers. If you can do so, please. But yeah, that'll wrap up tonight's show. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the roster review. Looking ahead to the Sharks, who come off a huge win against the Dolphins, 66-0. We know what that feels like, doesn't it? I put on a 66-0 job on a team. But yes, so we're going to get the Adam O'Brien out of here, battlers. But we'll see you tomorrow night for the roster review, eh?